What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Busy Sticks, the Geekiverse's all video game talk show. We've got a lot of good stuff to get to today, including the Super Mario movie trailer. CD Projekt Red shows their cards for the next decade, maybe a new Crash Bandicoot game, and Phil Spencer playing coy with the public in a congratulatory tweet for Fallout's 25th anniversary. I'm Josiah Leroy. With me today, Mr. Baba Yaga. John, if there's a third thing that we like in addition to video games and beer, it's sports.
It is. Oh, it's sports, all right.
It's a beautiful time right now in Buffalo. We've got hockey. It's back this for once. It's weird. It's like a normal season. We've got the Sabres starting their season tomorrow. There's a lot of optimism around them. I'm a homer. I've got the t-shirt that I got from 26 Shirts. I've got my hat on. I'm all in right now. You're going to some playoff baseball this weekend.
Dude,
it's a good time, man.
I can't even express how excited I am for that. Not to mention the Buffalo Bills are just rolling, and they're like the Super Bowl favorite right now. Are you kidding me? What a time to be a Buffalo fan.
What a time. It's so weird that they're almost like out of mind because they've coasted, for some of this season here.
Right. The expectation is that they just go to the Super Bowl or at least battle with Kansas City and the AFC Championship. Man, Sunday is going to be crazy against Kansas City. That is the game of the year. That's going to be, circle that one.
Already playing for home field advantage there. Can't wait to see that one. So good times ahead. We've got a fantasy hockey league going. We've got the Geekiverse boys, all four of us in it for the first time.
Yeah.
John and I are facing off this week. I think we've got a pretty good battle going on. Just right now.
Just a quick update. You're down by 8.
All right, pretty good.
Not bad.
No, all of our players have come to play here. John and I are going to finish in the top 3 in the standings. I'm telling you right now, probably a championship matchup. I'm sorry, Tim and JP.
Bucket.
As rookies, you guys should just, go through the motions here, learn what you can, and then maybe next year.
Yeah,
probably not if you're in a league with me and John. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Pay your league dues and figure it out.
We've got fantasy hockey on the brain. Fantasy football obviously just started about a month and a half ago,
dude.
And then first week of January, man.
We're bringing
it back.
We got to do fantasy games. So this is a video game podcast. We talk sports long enough. We love fantasy. Yeah, the fantasy video game league is so much fun. We've done it twice. We missed it last year. What a bummer. We're coming back for 2023 for sure. That is so much fun.
It's coming back. We're gonna bring Derek Kramer back. All of it. It's gonna be
okay. We haven't chatted about that part yet. So we'll take some of the conversations off air.
We'll see if we want to bring him back. I don't know. It depends. We have to eat a wing or two to get into that. So we're here to talk video games, like we said. We missed last week. I'm sorry, I was traveling, and we're gonna make up for it with a nice show here today.
It'll happen. We say this is a weekly show. Yeah, whatever. We're gonna miss some. Grow up. That's all right.
It's a mostly weekly show. The occasional miss here, but we're gonna do our best here. Thanks for tuning in to twitch.tv/thegeekiverse or live at youtube.com/thegeekiverse. So like I mentioned, we like beer. So what's about to be in our system? John, I'm going to go first because it ties into the work trip. I brought some beer home with me.
Ooh.
I was only one state over. I was in PA. But I saw a beer that I felt like I just needed to have. Never heard of them before. They are called Axeman Brewery, and it's called a Hazy Daisy. So
that's right up the alley right there.
Got to do it. I love my hazy IPAs. My daughter being named Daisy, it's just too perfect.
Oh, I was thinking of Daisy Ridley. I didn't even think about the daughter thing. Just kidding.
She's the second fiddle, right? No. 6.4%. This is a classic hazy IPA. Doesn't do anything over the top, but what it does well. So I got to say, definitely a fan, and I'd be curious to try out more of Axeman. They are in Bellefonte, PA, so I'm not too familiar with that. But happy that I made the stop to get this on the way home.
Cool.
John, what do you got?
I got a fun one, man. So the wife and I, we did 2 weekends ago, we did a Rochester, New York beer trip. We did 5 breweries. It was a lot of fun. We did, where did we start? We started at K2. We did one that I forget the name of. It was a small brewery, like they don't distribute. So the second one right by K2. We did Fifth Frame. We did Stillwater. We did There's one more we did that I forget, but what? Strange Bird. Oh, Strange Bird was probably the best of the bunch. Like a really, really cool place. But what I brought home was something from Fifth Frame. So they do a series called the Blizzy. So it's their ice cream series, like their take on the Blizzard. They call it a Blizzy. This one is called Disney Blizzy, but it's spelled Dizny. So it's their copyright free way to say this is a Disney Blizzy. So if you're not familiar, if you go to Disney World, there's a very popular treat called the Dole Whip. So Dole, the pineapple, the fruit company Dole, they've partnered with them and they do like a frozen treat. It's called the Dole Whip. It's like you get that. You go to Disney, you get a churro, you get Dole Whip. Like that's what you get. And I went there in July. It was awesome. We had plenty of Dole Whips. It's great. This is a Dole Whip beer. And oh my God, it tastes just like the Disney Dole Whip. It's insane. Absolutely bonkers. We had this at the brewery. We're like, wait a minute, this doesn't even taste like beer, which is like, take that for what you will, but it tastes just like the Dole Whip that we had at Disney.
Dude, that just strikes so many chords with me. I want to say Aurora Brewworks out in East Aurora had a different flavor of the Blizzy there. I don't know what it was and why I didn't get it.
Yeah, there's tons. There's tons. Yeah, they're kind of like froth in the sense that like the Blizzy is one of their staples, but they also have the Bath Bomb, and they're both like heavily fruited sour. So they've got like whatever you want. The Bath Bomb's a little thinner. The Blizzy, she thick. Blizzy thick.
She thick with two C's.
She thick, yeah.
All right.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, my man. By the way, I don't know if I've had this glass on the show yet. This is another glass to mouth beauty.
Yes, the chili.
Kevin from the office. This is this might have been their first glass, but they bring it back. So every other glass basically has been limited edition. Once they're out, they're out. This one they always keep on hand. And yeah, big fan of the work. Glass to mouth. Cool. I've always got the different ones on the show. I know John's got a bunch himself, but no better way to have a beer.
I think at this point I've broken more than I currently have.
I'm not there yet. I've broken my fair share. Actually, people break mine. It's Tim. It's Lauren. That's it. I never. I'm always like, I might as well wear gloves. I'm like, no, please, be careful.
It's always me, but I wash all my dishes, so I do all my stuff by hand, and every time I just drop them in the sink, and they're so thin that they just shatter.
And you're a smart man. You've never played with a frisbee with one in your hand.
I certainly have not.
That I know of. Maybe you did. I don't know, but it is what it is. So we know what's in our systems now, but John, what's in your system? What games you've been playing? I've got a huge list. I took the dive back in.
Dude, I see you on all my friends lists. I see you on everything. I'm seeing you on Steam. I'm seeing you on PlayStation. I go on Discord. You're playing stuff. You're all over the place.
I'm a maniac right now.
And I'll give you your platform because I don't have much to say. Like I've been playing Fortnite. That's my go-to game. That's where I sink my fun hours into. The new season's cool. Level 100 is going to be Gwen Stacy, so I'm grinding. It's the fall, which means Fortnitemares is coming out. That's their annual Halloween spin on their thing. That's always fun. We got zombies, we got new guns, stuff like that. So I've been playing Fortnite. It's been fun, but I've got the itch to get into some spooky stuff, dude. I've got the itch, spooky, and also to get back into my first replay of Life is Strange True Colors.
Yeah.
That's those two are right there. So I'm like, all right, I want to start Resident Evil 7 and then eventually go into 8. And then I want to play Life is Strange True Colors. So I'm just figuring out what's the best way to, how do I do this? How do I get the best of the fall vibes? Because I'm a fall boy. I'm a big fall boy. I love it. I love the cold weather. I love the leaves. I love what's happening. Playoff baseball, hockey's back. Like, this is perfect for me. I love pumpkin everything. Pumpkin beer, pumpkin spice, pumpkin loaf, whatever you got. I'm in. This is my life, right? I love fall. So I get all in with the spooky stuff. I'm watching scary movies every night. I'm going to see Halloween Kills tomorrow night. I can't wait. Or Halloween Ends. I'm sorry. Halloween Ends tomorrow night. Like, I'm all about it. So I got to get into the spooky game soon.
Well, guys, as our friend of the show, Jeremy White, would say, fall is elite.
Elite.
It certainly is. Guys, he's not kidding. He's got a fridge full of pumpkin beer.
Oh, I love it. Well, I did.
Okay, that's fair. So when I went over his house recently for our fantasy hockey draft, I opened up the fridge. It punched me in the face.
Yeah.
It was crazy. No, we've talked about this. I'm not a pumpkin guy, but I'm happy that you are. In terms of my advice for the two games you're contemplating there, I don't often recommend this. I would do both.
Yeah, so that's my plan for sure. So I will. I want to do one Steam Deck, one console. So like one sit down, like on the TV, play it, and then one Steam Deck. And like the problem is, I have to rebuy something. I have to rebuy something somewhere to make it happen.
Do we have Resident Evil 7 for Steam Deck?
No, we only have 8. We only have Village. So nobody has RE7, but I'm sure I can find it for like 75 cents and a couple of shoelaces on Steam. Like I'm sure I can figure it out. You know, it's Steam. It's out there.
So
a couple of Applebee's coupons and I'm there.
What about Are you dead set on playing it on? Well, okay.
I'm not dead set on anything, but I would like to do one handheld, one big screen. That's the.
It's on PS5. It's part of the PS Plus collection.
I know. I have it on PS. I have it on Xbox as well. Games with Gold. It was there back in the day, so I own it on 2 platforms. That's my problem.
You're just looking to buy it again. Got it. As we often do, right? So I am playing Resident Evil 8, and when I say I'm playing it, this is horrible. What a gap I had, but I'm making up for it. September 17th is when I started it, and I played an hour, and that was it. I didn't play any other like video games minus games with my daughter since then until yesterday. Well, I took the dive in and I'm a few hours past that now and I'm ready to go. Man, Resident Evil 8 is good. It just nails so much that I love about the series. And when I say that, I mean my experiences from the remakes. So Resident Evil 2 and 3, and then I played through 7. And it's striking a chord, man. And I love Lady Dimitrescu. Oh my gosh, do I? Yeah.
What are your thoughts compared to 7 so far?
I would say so it's unique in that the storyline it's a true sequel. Like the storyline continues very close to where 7 left off. Very different dynamic. Almost think of like it's all the same, but think like alternate universe. It's like 7, you're in this house in Louisiana. There's a bunch of Southern hicks that have gone crazy and there's a lot of stuff going on and you're trapped in their house. What a horribly creepy setting. This one is scary, but not like that. Like 7, I was like on the edge of my seat the entire time. I was nervous to go around any corner. It was really stressful. 8, I've not felt that way yet. I'm close to I'm like 3 hours in. So I'm in the first quarter of the game still, maybe third. And I love the setting. It's open though. You're in this castle, but you can go outside. You travel to different buildings. It's not as like edge of my seat, I'm gonna crap my pants, but at the same time, like I'm really into the story. I cannot wait to see what happens next.
Got it. Yeah, I gotta get into these new RE games. I loved RE2. RE3 I didn't play it. I just heard that it wasn't as good and like something else came out around that time, so I just didn't play it. I'd love to get back to it, but my focus is doing 7 and 8. So that's gotta be my next real dive into something new. Because Life is Strange, that's a replay for me. I played it last year. I played it once, and then I went through it sort of again to get the platinum. You know, you can just hop in those chapters and grab the stuff you need, the stuff you miss. So I probably experienced a little bit more of the game, but truly played through it once. What a good fall game! Like what a good fall vibe game with the music and the scenery in Haven Springs. So I'm excited for that, but like I'm all about the scary stuff. So I gotta do this. That's a commitment for me. You gotta hold me to this. If I'm not talking about RE next episode, there's a problem.
I agree. Okay, that's my homework this week. With Life is Strange, like John and I are going to talk about that game forever. It's just going to keep rearing its head here. If John, I think you should get it for Steam Deck. No reason.
Oh yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why you want that.
It can be my first achievement maxed out game.
We're getting close to the season of sales, so like it's got to be available for a couple of gum wrappers soon. I think that's how Steam works.
That's what you said. Shoelaces. I'm very curious to see how this currency system works. I'm no PC gamer, but I'm figuring it out.
It's new to me too. I'm figuring day by day.
Maybe Tim can weigh in on that sometime.
Right.
So, yep, I'm playing Resident Evil 8. The longest playthrough ever of God of War. I'm in the same boat where I've just gone through these gaps where I haven't played games for like a month.
Are you playing that on PlayStation or on Steam Deck?
I'm playing it on PlayStation. I started it before we got the Steam Deck.
Got it. Okay, PS5?
Yes. So playing it on my PS5. It's the PS4 updated version, better graphics, all that good stuff. I wanted to play it one more time before Ragnarok comes out in just under a month, by the way. John, did you pre-order that controller?
I did. We're so weak, dude. We are so weak.
I can't help it.
We both What?
I said no to that silver Xbox controller. It's
Oh,
beautiful,
that's
but I haven't turned on my Xbox.
dude. That's not the same. That's not the same. There are somehow more Xbox controllers than there are PlayStation exclusive games, which is like a tough feat. It's insane. But like, I'm not gonna go down that road. I want to talk about God of War for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm in a different camp when it comes to that stuff. Like when Horizon came out, God of War's coming, like stuff like that, sequels are coming. I usually don't play the last game before to get myself into it because, like, I don't want to have too much of that thing. Because God of War Ragnarok is going to be a very true sequel to God of War, right? I don't want to be used to that combat and be used to that world. Like, I'm gonna go on YouTube and watch a quick recap video before that game comes out, and that's how I'm gonna experience it. I don't want to be back in that world. I want Ragnarok to be the one that brings me back to that world. Same with Horizon. Same with The Last of Us Part 2. I didn't play Part 1. I didn't play the first one before that came out. Like, that's not my style. I understand it. Like, I think you're in the majority. Like, most people want to get a taste, like, you know, refresh themselves, play those games again. For me, I want the new one to bring me back into that world. I will watch a YouTube video. I want to be brought back to speed on the story, but yeah, the new one is where I want to get back into it.
Dude, before I forget, there's an outstanding recap video that Sony put out. I don't know if you watched it or not. It was on the front page of like your PlayStation 5 maybe about a month ago. And oh my gosh, why can't I think of the name of the girl who hosted this? It's incredible. So it's very Halloween-esque.
Alana Pierce.
Nope.
Trisha Hirschberger.
Nope.
Not
Lucy O'Brien. Oh gosh. Anyway, I can't believe it. This is so embarrassing.
From IGN?
So embarrassing. No.
Oh, I don't know.
She's so well known. Anyway, I'll come back to it. She narrates. It's like she's sitting next to a fireplace. It's thundering outside, lightning. She's like, let's recap God of War. So they sit down and she basically reads the story in like 7 minutes.
Lucy James?
It might be Lucy James. Hang on.
Lucy James Games. GameSpot.
Hang on. No, it's not Lucy James.
Okay.
I can't believe I can't think of it. Anyway, so it's so well done, but it will catch you up like that. And like, how brilliant of Sony to do that, to put that out, knowing that people were going to want to be like
me. I don't want to play it again. Yeah, I want the recap.
Exactly.
Last guess.
Exactly.
Naomi Kyle.
Nope.
That was my last guess. That's it. That's all I got.
Nope. I'm kicking myself for not knowing this. This is terrible. So that exists. My opinion on playing games like prior to sequels coming out, I don't always do it, but I do it for my favorite games, I think, or games that I'm really high on, like God of War. It's one of my top 5 all-time favorite games. And
oh yeah,
I wanted to go back and platinum this. I'm not going to have time to do that with everything that I've got in the pipeline for games that I want to play right now. But for example, also Gotham Knights, which I'm really excited about, is coming out in about 10 days. Even though it's not necessarily the same thing, I went back and played Batman Arkham Knight on my Steam Deck because I wanted an experience for one of my favorite franchises on the Steam Deck, and that was it. And I'm like, hey, that's perfect. I'll play that, kind of whet my appetite a little bit for that style of combat before Gotham Knights comes out. So I didn't do it for Horizon. I didn't play the first game prior to Forbidden West coming out in February. I just went in fresh. So there's a positive and a negative. I think the positive is I go into a game like God of War, or I think of back when Arkham City came out and I'd replayed Arkham Asylum right before it. I love all the subtle upgrades. It gets better sometimes. They tighten up the controls. They introduce new dynamics. It can be fresh. In the event they don't do that, that's where the negative comes in. It is a lot, like you said, John. You don't want to have too much of it. So I totally get both sides to that coin.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever done it. Like I'm a big sequel guy. I love my franchises. Like I'm all about that stuff. I can't say video game wise I've ever replayed like an original or a prequel before the next game came out. It's just it's never the way I've done it. But I respect it. I get it. I understand it. I can't wait to just get into Ragnarok and as a fresh experience. I've only played God of War once back when it came out, 2018. Crazy.
So I was in that boat until this playthrough that's taken me like 6 months to get through, which is crazy. But what's crazy is looking back at the trophies. I beat that game in 5 days, and it's not a huge game, so you can do it. But
Yeah.
like, that was it, and it's amazing to me that I loved a game that much and was just done with it.
Dude, so I've got a friend of the show, my buddy Phil, who's a coworker of mine, but a longtime friend even before coworker. Well, actually, coworker. Met him there, friend for a while, coworkers again by happenstance. He played the first God of War in one sitting by accident. He just got the game on the Friday it came out and just played the whole thing and just didn't get up. And we were talking the other day, we were talking about games. He just goes down into a slump. He's like, I'm gonna play the next God of War in one sitting again, aren't I? I'm like, I think you might, dude. I think it's gonna happen. He's like, I think I'm gonna do it by accident. I'm like, yep, you're gonna do it again because, like, yeah, what a bizarre situation. But I think I'm close. I think that game came out on a Friday, like most PlayStation games do. I think I beat it on that Monday.
Yeah, I just couldn't put it down, and I had some late nights, and just I had a little bit more time on my hands, and I just went for it, and I loved it so much. What a time, because that week or the next week, Infinity War came out. Like, that was the pinnacle.
Wow.
Right. Like one of my favorite games ever and one of my favorite movies ever within days of each other. So John, back to the God of War video. It's called Myths of Midgard.
Okay.
You can find it online, but it was on the PlayStation dashboard. Felicia Day.
She was.
Her name.
She was on the tip of my tongue.
I feel like such a jerk. Felicia, I know you'll never see this, but I apologize. So I did skip show and tell, and this would have been a better segue with the Xbox controller discussion.
Yeah.
But just like our Xbox Series X, John, that you and I each have, we've not turned them on in a long time, really played them in forever.
I'm not sure that mine still works, but we'll see.
I turned mine on just to see like what happens. Does it work? Yeah, of course it works. Like I haven't played it since really Halo and Forza. Think about that, by the way. Go back just about 10 months. You and I played the hell out of Halo for a few weeks and Forza. It was really an awesome time for Xbox, and then off a cliff.
It's been a minute.
So, like our Xboxes that we haven't seen in a while, cleaning out my basement, going through some stuff. Y'all remember strategy guides?
Oh my god, I sure do.
Yes.
Dude.
So I don't really know why I have this, to be honest. I think me and my dad were so into Halo 3 that maybe we picked it up on sale one time. But this thing is like pristine condition here.
That's awesome.
It is. I want to like just take a look back at it. But for all the kids out there, strategy guides were a thing. I don't even know if they sell them still, to be honest with you.
I think some games have them.
I wouldn't be surprised. GameStop exists, so they must exist, right? Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this. I kept it.
Is it hardcover?
It's not, but it's like it's harder than your average.
Yeah, I can tell. There's some good Mac going on there. I bought a strategy guide for a game that's like a somewhat recent game, and I was just blown away that there was a strategy guide for it. I didn't use it. I bought it because it was a hardcover book, and I just wanted it for myself, and it came with a little accessory too. But Uncharted 4. No, not Breath of the Wild.
Oh!
Uncharted 4 had
2016.
Had a strategy guide. Yeah, the year before Breath of the Wild. I used to work at Apple at the time, and I think I just went to Best Buy on my lunch break, and it was the day Uncharted came out, and like I see this, and I'm like, this is incredible. Came with a little like coin. The limited edition game of Uncharted 4 came with a coin. I think that one was silver, but the strategy guide came with a gold version, and I'm like, I want that coin. Here's my $80 or whatever it was. Whatever it was for the stupid hardcover. I still have it somewhere. I'll bring it. When the time is right, that might be a good show and tell. But yeah,
I love that so much. What's weird is I own a strategy guide for a game I have not played more than an hour of, and it was Star Wars Jedi Outcast. So Jedi Knight 2, I think that was. I don't know why I have it. Maybe it was a garage sale. It must have been cheap somewhere. Or like, I'm going to play this game on my original Xbox. So I never did. And now I own it, I think, for PS4 because they limited run games did a re-release of it. But yeah, I own that, and I've never played that game.
Speaking of strategy guides, I don't know, like if anybody else in the audience can relate to this, but in school we always had like a free period. This was like elementary school, and the free period was you could just use it to read or do homework. So if you had a book or whatever, you could read. If you could do homework, you could do it. I would always just go through all of my games and grab all of the manuals out of the games, which that used to be a thing, and I would just shove those in my backpack, and I would just have an excuse to look at video game stuff during reading period. And I was just sitting there looking through Need for Speed Underground 2 and Halo 2 and like the Shrek video game back when I was in like middle school, elementary school, and I'm just looking at like control schemes for games that I've played a dozen times. I'm just like, this is better than reading, I don't know, freaking whatever.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So limited run games come with booklets.
That's amazing.
So like Star Wars Bounty Hunter, it was a PS2 game, came out early 2000s, maybe like 01. The re-release, the port of it comes with one for PS4. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys brought this back. It's so good.
Yeah. So, no, I was just gonna say. So, for people who aren't familiar, these little clips on the side of your video game, this used to hold a book. Those are there for a reason. There used to be a full-on. Sometimes they were like there used to be like strategy guides. Some of them had that, but like mostly the instruction manuals, stuff like that. These used to be used. These little clips.
Isn't it funny that they still throw them in there?
Yes. Like what's the point of them? But yeah, sometimes they have like a little like flyer for like buy the DLC or here's like a Mountain Dew Code Red or whatever. I don't know.
Now you're speaking my language. That's absolutely hysterical. Yeah, this is like a history 101 lesson out here.
Yeah, for, dude.
Some remnants of the gaming past. So yeah, my Halo 3 strategy guide. I want to say my dad had like LA Noire, which I think would be a helpful strategy guide in some cases if you got stuck on that's a huge game, but just they used to have shelves of these. Do you remember? The turnstile at GameStop with
absolutely
like, as tall as you were, all the way down.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you would go to like a midnight release and like you get your game behind the counter, but then there was a stack of the strategy guide like at the front desk ready for you to grab like if you wanted it.
Dude, that's good times. I love gaming nostalgia. I'll always be a fan of it.
Yeah, me too.
In terms of what else I'm playing, I'm just gonna wrap it up quick. My daughter, Daisy, has caught the Mario bug bad, and I'm so excited about it. So we've got, between like 7 and 9 Mario Switch games that are just in constant rotation, and we're loving every bit of it. Dude, she's good. She's all about it. Like, that's her favorite thing right now, which makes me super happy. We've been playing a little Odyssey, Mario 3D World, Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, Mario Kart, and then she's been all about looking at videos for basically games that are coming out, so trailers. So we have not played Mario and Rabbids yet, which I know the sequel is about to come out, but that's a game I think we're going to purchase maybe for Christmas. But she's all into that, and then we played demos for Yoshi's Crafted World and the new Kirby game, and it's so much fun, man. Those games are perfect for 2 players, especially
for sure.
When one is a kid. So I gotta say, I've been having a blast with it. Like, our Halloween outfits as a family are all Mario characters.
Yes, that's so cool, dude. That's so cool.
Yeah, good stuff. So been playing a lot of that. It's funny, I have like the parental controls app now for the Nintendo that you can have on your phone, and it'll update once or twice a day, and it tells me a disgusting amount of hours. I'm like, was that me or was that Daisy or both of us? It's bad, but it's kind of cool. Like, if you have kids, you can limit the types of games they play, what they play, how long they can play. You can freeze it at any time. Like, it's pretty intuitive. So I gotta say, check that out.
That's cool.
If that's a concern.
That's a smartphone app?
Yes.
Awesome.
I didn't know about it until I saw an ad for it. I'm like, I could probably use this. Oh my gosh. Let's get to the news, shall we? John. Phil Spencer.
That's me. Phil Spencer.
Oh, coolest guy, I think, in gaming. Unfortunately, represents Xbox.
Unfortunately, no. We love our Xboxes.
I love Xbox. We're just joking about it.
We just want to love it a little more right now.
We do. We just love our PS5s a little bit more, our Steam Decks, our Nintendo Switches. Oh my gosh, the list goes on. Anyway, he tweeted out a congratulations to Fallout for being 25 years old. And in the image, as Phil often does, he'll have stuff on his shelves. He'll also put things on. He'll wear T-shirts. It doesn't matter. He's always putting these Easter eggs in. What we believe to be the device for the Xbox streaming service that is not a USB stick, but it looks like a little contraption, almost like the size of a webcam. You can see it hidden in the background. Xbox on Twitter got a little playful with him and said, hey, you're basically using an old prototype. Who knows if that was a part of it or not? I would assume it is. But anyway, maybe we got a little bit of a sneak peek at what the streaming device will look like for Xbox. John, don't you love stuff like this? Like, I feel like that's the best way to put this stuff out there.
I do, for sure. So I did bring it up on the screen here. So visual, if you're watching the YouTube video, you can see this. It's kind of in front of our faces, but that's okay. This was on the shelf. It was hidden there. It was, Phil took this picture to kind of talk about Fallout, and there was something on there. If you look to the left of it, there's a Master Chief Elite controller, and that thing is almost bigger than this Xbox. So I've had people say like, oh, isn't just the Series S? No, first of all, like the buttons don't line up. And second of all, look at that Master Chief Elite controller right next to it. That thing could cover up this entire unit. So this thing's something different. So even before the Xbox Series X was revealed, there was a rumor that there would be a cheaper SKU and it would be streaming only. So Series X gets revealed, then the Series S gets revealed, and we're all confused, like, oh, it's just less powerful. Like, everybody thought that we were going to go xCloud only, like an xCloud version, like maybe a stick, something like that. But the rumors never really died down. Like, everyone is always like, Xbox is pushing cloud. They're putting a lot of money into xCloud. Like, they're bringing new games to it all the time. So, like, it only makes sense that we eventually will see a streaming-only box or stick or whatever. So yeah, Phil tweets this picture out, and like all we can think of is like it's tiny, it's an Xbox, like it must be a prototype for the streaming only Xbox. Who knows? Xbox replying throws off the scent a little bit. Like I almost think that like they wouldn't have said anything because their tweet says, what have we told you about putting old prototypes on your shelf or whatever they said. I forgot exactly what it said. Like, I almost think that maybe if it was like actually meant to be planted, they would have left it alone and just let that exist and let the internet run wild with it. But again, it's Xbox. Who knows? Maybe this could be a second layer to it. They just want to draw more attention to it. I don't know. I'm in the camp where I think this is like a real thing. I think this is going to be like an upcoming streaming device.
I think so too, and I think part of that is, if not all of it, is staged, and I'm fine with that. Like I love the cheesiness, I love the fun behind it. Phil's always been good at that. He's represented Xbox well in his entire time there, especially since he became the head of Xbox just a few years back. So I'm all about this. I can't wait to see more. I can't wait to hear more details on it. Xbox, we need to win. We need to start talking about you again.
Yeah, for sure.
We did for a few days here.
Yeah, no doubt. I think I remember. So I mentioned the Series X and the Series S reveal. There was a point where only the Series X was revealed, and the cheaper model was still a rumor, and we weren't sure if it was a streaming only or if it was going to be something different. And Phil did like multiple Zoom calls with like his desk, and the Series S was like on a bookshelf behind him, and like before it was announced. So like that's that thing was out. That you can look that up and see like what that looked like. He had that just sitting there on a bookshelf. That's where I think like, okay, he's done this before. This is no accident.
No. He knows what he's doing.
No
and
accident.
He can also congratulate an Xbox IP in Fallout now, right? It's twofold. So good stuff there. Love it. Keep it going, Xbox. Be fun. Do what you're doing.
For sure. But maybe also like put out a couple of games.
Yeah, that would be advisable. I would like to play. Oh my gosh, what is it? Requiem. A Plague Tale that's coming to Game Pass day one.
Yes, it is because they own that studio now. I would like to play. I would like to play the first one. I have not done that yet.
Same, and I feel like I have that as part of like a PS Plus.
Dude, we own that like 12 times. It's everywhere. It's on.
Really?
It's on Game Pass. It's on PS Plus. And we probably have it on Steam. I'm sure Tim bought it on. Like we got it all over the place.
Honestly, I shouldn't even question it. Like odds are
Tim we got it.
I would put that as the first order. Like Tim on our Steam Deck share,
2 Game Pass,
Xbox Game Pass or Games with Gold, and then maybe PS Plus.
Yes, for sure.
It's got to be somewhere. I think that's the problem with me with playing games because it's so accessible. I'm like, I'll get to it when I get to it. I wish it was like a little.
It's definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing. But hey, man, we mentioned it. We talk about Xbox and we joke. I told you this the other day. I'm about to roll into my first ever period since Game Pass launched where my subscription is going to expire. I didn't up it.
And I carried it over, like I transformed from
Gold.
Xbox Live Gold.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, me too.
And so it says I've been a member since like 2009, and that's going to hurt me a little inside when I let that go.
Oh, it won't. It's not streak related. You can lapse and that your 9 still stays.
Good to know.
Yeah, there's no streaks. I've gone a couple months without having Xbox Live Gold. There's no way to differentiate if you've had a gap in your subscription. But yeah, since Game Pass has been out, I've been a subscriber. I'm always getting deals on that stuff. I'm always looking for ways to find it cheaper. But I have not played a Game Pass game since I don't know, dude. I think I maybe booted up Tunic when it came out. I played a little bit of that. Like, I liked that game, but I fell off. Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy when it came out on Game Pass, I played a few hours of.
I think you did on your PC, right?
Yeah, that's what I did. That's about it, man. I have not played much Game Pass, and again, I'm not here to tell you that like Game Pass is bad or not. Not a good deal. It's incredible.
Sure.
The value you can get from Game Pass. You pay $12 or whatever it is right now. Like the awesome games you can play on Game Pass right now, it's unheard of. But it's just it's not what I'm looking for right now.
I do miss my Xbox. I do for sure. So at one of these points, I'm gonna boot something up and play it over there. It'll be nice, hopefully. But the problem is the PS5's got my attention. The Steam Deck, my OLED Switch, it's so pretty. Oh, man, it's sad. Anyway, speaking of Xbox-owned studios, or soon to be, I guess. We might be getting another Crash Bandicoot game, and I'm pretty sure that we are. From Game Informer, looks like Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, is heading to Steam, with Activision Blizzard announcing the news in an unorthodox fashion. The publisher also appears to be teasing the reveal of a new Crash game. The publisher sent a special Crash-themed pizza box from Aku Aku's Steam and Pizza Shack to influencers such as YouTuber Canadian Guy A. His unboxing video shows that the box is taped with a not-so-subtle message that Crash 4 heads to Steam on October 18th. The game, which launched in 2020, is currently playable on PC through Battle.net. Additionally, the box was also taped with a message that read, "Hungry for more? Try our new Wumpa Pizza for $12.08. Given that the Game Awards is set to air on December 8th, it appears highly likely we'll find out the nature of this title, rumored to be a party game called Wumpa League.
Interesting. I didn't see the second half of that. I've been following. I've been knowing that there's rumors and stuff like that. I didn't see this party game Wumpa League thing.
Yes. So the rumor is a Smash Brothers-esque title with Crash Bandicoot at the forefront, which is intriguing.
It's intriguing. I will say, kind of a bummer. I kind of just want them to make more Crash games. I don't know.
I'd like either a brand new Crash game, so a Crash 5 essentially,
or another CTR.
Give me another CTR, or hear me out, and maybe this plays into it a little bit. We haven't got a remaster of Crash Bash, which was the 5th game at the time.
Crash Bash.
I played the heck out of that game with my cousins. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was such a blast. And I think that would hit in such a fun way, especially in this day and age where everything's connected. We're playing online. We're streaming games. That was before all of that. That was PlayStation 1 era.
Yeah.
So give me a Crash Bash remaster and you've got me sold. But either way, Crash Bandicoot alive and well, right? Seems like it's going well here.
Yeah, even better news for me is that Toys for Bob is still kicking around. They did. So there was a, not even a rumor, there was a report after Crash 4 comes out about time that they kind of just took that studio and like dedicated them to like Warzone like support work. They were working with Activision on Call of Duty stuff, so everyone was bummed about that because they made CTR, they made Crash 4 It's About Time, like they're out there making like incredible platformers and super nostalgic stuff, and to see that Activision just takes them and throws them at a Call of Duty project was super sad. So I'm glad to see that they're still kicking around and they're still making their own stuff.
I agree. I can't wait to see what that looks like. The Game Awards are always so much fun nowadays.
Oh, dude, I can't wait for that. It's a big
live stream it, I'm sure, just like we did last year.
Oh yeah.
With Crash, look, I would all but guarantee that gets revealed there.
Because I think CTR was revealed at Game Awards. I think.
I don't recall.
I think it was.
I'm sure you're right. And then also, it sounds like we're going to find out about Kojima's next game.
Yes,
obviously makes sense, right? But on December 8th, so that could be a really big night.
Yeah. I mean, can't wait, man.
Not as big as last year with Star Wars, though.
Dude, are you kidding me?
What a time that
Maybe we can actually see what that game is this year.
I doubt it.
No, Quantic Dream. That game's
I would love to.
2028.
Yeah, that is definitely a PS6 game. So, shifting gears here, CD Projekt Red, developer behind the Witcher games as well as Cyberpunk 2077, a little bit of an unorthodox move here. They give us a roadmap for the next 10 years of planned development. That's a lot of time for things to change, if not go wrong entirely. But I think they're playing the long PR game. What did they announce? 5 games, a brand new IP, a sequel for Cyberpunk, which has had a bit of a comeback here in the past month. I'm happy to see that.
Big comeback. Yeah, they put the anime out. They put the next gen version out. People are loving their Cyberpunk right now.
It's alive and well, so that's great after a really, really rocky few years. And a brand new Witcher trilogy. Now, I like a studio being transparent. However, I also think it can be really problematic, especially when you're talking to gamers. We talked about it on a prior episode of Busy Sticks, where I think it's better that most studios hold their cards closer to the chest nowadays. We didn't know about what's a good example of this? Guardians of the Galaxy until 5 months before it came out. It was announced at what was E3, and then it was released that October. I love that. We should do more of that. So they're going the opposite way, and I think they're trying to build back some of the trust with the fan base, which I think is just a slippery slope, because if any of these development processes change or get canceled or go wrong or get delayed, like there's going to be issues here. John, what's your take on them being so open about this and calling out their really ambitious plans for the next 5 titles?
I'm of two minds about it. I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like I enjoy what you're talking about. I like the surprises. I like the hype. I like you show me and then it comes out. Like I like that kind of stuff. Like it makes sense. Like it's the most consumer approachable way to do it, right? Like we get something, we see it, it's coming out soon, but it's 2022. Like you can't keep secrets like this anymore. So like I almost am at the point where it's like, what are we even trying for? Like we talk about the movie industry. We know the next Marvel movies for the next 10 years, right? Like we know when the 6th Avenger movie is coming out and the 5th one's not even out yet, right? Like these all have dates already. Like that they're so road mapped out, because like that's the kind of money that takes, like that's the kind of planning it takes to make this stuff. Video games are the same way, yet for some reason it's always been so secretive, and it's been a lot of fun to do it that way, but I just don't know if that's feasible. We see stuff like GTA 6 getting leaked out and stuff like that. I just don't know if that future is feasible for gaming. I think like CD Projekt Red's like, what do we have to lose? Like, yeah, this is what we're working on. Like, you know us for 2 things: Cyberpunk and The Witcher. We're gonna make another Cyberpunk game. The Witcher, guess what? Whole new trilogy. That's the plan. It's coming out. Like we're doing it. That's we'll show you more when we have more. So I see both ways. I see how they could have driven more hype by maybe, at E3 next year announcing the next Witcher trilogy, or even just the first game of that trilogy, whatever. Like I see how that makes sense, but I also see it's like, I don't want to, the studio's saying, I don't want to get caught up in this hype anymore. I don't want to get caught up in this, like, this conversation work. Did I show too much? Did I show too little? Has it been too long? Am I not showing enough? Like, when's their next game coming? Think about, like, WB and the trials and tribulations of WB and how long it took them, to announce these 2 games that are coming out in the next, 12 months, whatever it is. Like, the amount of dialogue that was, like, all negative about what are they working on? What was canceled in the meantime? Like, it's so tough to control that message. It's so difficult for them, and I don't envy that being in that spot of trying to figure out, like, what's the best call? Like, when do I announce this stuff? So I'm cool with it, man. Like, we know the studio for 2 things. Put it out there.
I see what you're saying, but to me, it's so risky. Like, gaming, I mean, look how poorly that launch went for Cyberpunk, and all these promises, if you will, that were not delivered upon initially, even maybe until now in some cases, with the next gen versions finally coming out. Or like you cite Marvel, and that is a good example of a company saying, this is what we're doing for the next 6 years. But that's as safe a bet as I can imagine in the entertainment industry nowadays. Like, that, or they're not even talking about Star Wars anymore that far in advance, just Marvel. You got a video game studio here who has a successful franchise in The Witcher, in part with their relationship with Netflix, and their very strong first trilogy of games that were critically well received. You have Cyberpunk, like you said, who's got the really nice anime going on Netflix and brought a lot of attention back to it. But my gosh, imagine if that first Witcher game just for some reason doesn't hit and they cancel the rest of that trilogy. Like, I feel like that's That's a bigger problem.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. And you bring up Star Wars. Star Wars is the exception, not not the rule. I think that we know about Mission Impossible movies for years out. We know about the Fast and the Furious movies. Like there's so many of these movies. Like John Wick. Like I think John Wick 4 was announced before 3 came out. Like that. Like the Hollywood is so good about projecting that stuff out. Star Wars is the one where it's like that one struggled for a little bit. We had some issues. We have to retone this and play this one close to the chest. I think that's the exception. I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal if they say, hey, these are our plans, and then maybe things go wrong, and we pivot those plans. Just at least at the very least, stay transparent. If you're having trouble with this first Witcher game, and maybe it doesn't sell well, or maybe whatever happens, be transparent about the roadmap going on. You've set this precedent that we're going to be transparent. Continue that, and I think we're all good.
And to their credit, I think they did that in the year and a half leading up to Cyberpunk's release, right? There were 4 delays, and it was almost a joke with the meme with that yellow background for the letterhead for the company saying
those tweets.
We've delayed Cyberpunk again. So they did that, and it was well received, but then the game was not well received, and there were a lot of issues with it.
And I think that's a very different conversation. I think transparency between delaying stuff and just being honest about your plans is way different than shipping a game that's broken. And they did that. You can't ignore that. They did that. But I mean,
you could argue they weren't transparent with it because they were showing people these previews on high-end PCs, and then people get the game. And like, well, it doesn't run up my system.
For sure. I mean? No. I'm saying that they weren't transparent there. That was an issue. But now now they're attempting to be transparent, and they even started that after the launch of Cyberpunk, right? Cyberpunk comes out. They acknowledge what's going on. It gets pulled. They're doing refunds, stuff like that, and they say, hey, we know this is broken. The next gen version is not coming for a while. We are going to put out 1, 2, 3, whatever, how many updates, and then the next gen version will eventually come. They had this huge shell shock, and they realized that transparency is key. We really messed up, and I think that's their plan going forward.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying there. To me, I feel like it's. I mean, this might be a moot point, but where we stand now, it just seems bold to me that they're saying, hey, we're going to be doing this for forever.
Yeah, I hear you.
Such a roller coaster development cycle that we often see in video games. It turns toxic quickly when it comes to a PR standpoint. I'm rooting for them. I hope they do well. I own Cyberpunk. I played 9-10 hours of it when it did drop. So I played basically the Xbox One version on my Series X. And it's a universe I'd love to get back into one day. Same with The Witcher. Just haven't gotten there yet. So I am rooting for them. I hope it is successful, and I hope all these games hit. And I'm excited to see what that new IP is, that third IP, when they inevitably get to that point. So love to hear everyone in the community's thoughts on this. Leave some comments below. Get involved with us on social media. Please, would love to hear your side of the story for this. Last news topic before we get into our favorite new game here at the Geekiverse. We're going to talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie trailer. Dude, I love this trailer.
I am so excited, so hyped. My expectations for this movie are really high.
That makes me feel good. I figured we'd be on the same page as we often are, but man, this dropped. I watched it with Daisy, and we watch it at least twice a day. She'll be like, Dad, can you watch the Mario trailer? That's probably going to be her first movie in theaters. It comes out April 6th. We haven't taken her to one yet. That's going to be it. It's so good. It's Illumination.
Yeah.
They're the masters, the modern day masters for anything animation. You got Despicable Me. You had The Grinch in 2018. They are masters of their craft and what they do. They're the perfect studio to bring Mario to the big screen.
And it is gorgeous, man. We've got it playing right now if you're watching the video podcast, man. It is a beautiful, beautiful looking movie.
I am so ready for this. All of it right off the bat. It's got the perfect blend of that quirky humor with a little bit of the intense nature of what you would expect a trailer to look like in 2022. Let's talk about voice acting here. I am all in on Jack Black as Bowser.
Dude, I wasn't worried for a second. You tell me Jack Black as Bowser, I'm like, oh my god, genius. He's going to crush that. And then this trailer comes out, and I'm so excited to hear his voice. He crushes it, dude. It's so good. I think a lot of the casting is going to be a lot of fun. I think Charlie Day is Luigi. We didn't get to hear that. We got a small clip of Luigi just kind of running around at the end, but we didn't get to hear him. I think Charlie Day is going to be a killer Luigi. I think Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. We heard him. Oh my god, that sounds incredible. Chris Pratt kind of just doing Chris Pratt as Mario, whatever, man. Like
I'm 100% fine with it. I know people like love to hate on him. I'm fine with it.
It's whatever. Like I'm not
Charles Martinet. Like you're
no.
not unless you Charles Martinet. Like it's not gonna happen.
And so that's not right. And that Charles Martinet would not be a good take for this movie. You don't want an hour and a half of it's a me. Let's go. Like that's too much. That's too much, right? But you know, we finally hear his voice, and it's like there was a joke that came out. Like Chris Pratt did like an interview, and he said it's a me, Mario, in his regular voice, and then he laughed. He's like, no, I'm not giving you guys the voice yet. Bro, that was the voice. It's just you. Like, it was the same thing. You did nothing different. So, like, I'm not mad about it. Chris Pratt, it's fine. I'm in. It's going to be okay. But, like, maybe not the best call.
Yeah, I have no problem with it at all. I don't know. I'm into it. There's a little bit of that Brooklyn accent.
But only one of the lines. I don't know. The first line where he's like, "Where are we?" Like it was just Chris Pratt, and then the second one was like, "Let's," whatever he said. I got that a little bit. I don't know. I'm optimistic. I'm fine with it. However it goes. I just think that I think there was better approaches to an animated Mario.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I mean, I love Chris Pratt to begin with. I think that's going to be great. He's done, oh my gosh, he's done a lot of voiceover work now. He was in Onward. He was in the Lego movie. Like a lot of good stuff going on in addition, obviously, to the live action stuff that we all love. But I'm a big fan of that casting. I love the direction of the movie. It feels very Illumination to me. Yeah, I mean, sign me up. I cannot wait to get to this movie. What's interesting is Lauren, my wife, just does not like going to movies anymore. Doesn't care. Used to be there every movie with me. She's like, I'm good now. But she goes, when does that movie come out? After hearing this in the next room, I'm like, April. She goes, I'd go see that. I'm like, oh,
yes.
That's right there.
Family day.
All of us are going. Yeah. So good stuff there. I'm super optimistic. I think this is going to be out of the park. Dude, we've had some wins lately.
Yeah. Sonic, dude.
Uncharted, I think, was pretty good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Obviously, there's always misses in video game movies. That's the long running joke. But we've gotten some wins on the board here. Just saying. I feel like I wouldn't say we've turned a corner, but some studios are starting to understand what people want.
They're taking it more seriously. Like, yeah, the Nintendo is heavily involved. Like Miyamoto heavily involved in this movie. Like it's a partnership. It's not just like a license thing where it's like, yeah, we're gonna give the Mario character to Illumination and they do what they want to do. Like this is a partnership. This is a Mario movie in production done by Nintendo. So I think there's a lot to be excited about.
That's the way it needs to be for sure. So good stuff. Again, check out the trailer if you haven't watched it in its entirety. You probably watch it a few more times through. Last thought on that before we move on to guess the video game. I love this iteration of the Mario theme. I love how
the trailer. It
cuts off, and then we see Mario, and it's just this very background.
It's ominous almost.
Ominous is the perfect word for that. Oh, it tugs at your heartstrings, man, especially if you've been playing Mario for the last few decades. It's just so special. I think this is going to be awesome, man.
Yeah, I can't wait. Very, very excited.
Yeah, all about it. Well, I think it's about that time. It's at least John and I, our new favorite game here. We're finding our footing a little bit. We've been playing other games such as Guess the Star Wars character, Guess the Marvel character. And according to YouTube Shorts, you people love that content. So we're going to do more of it. We're going to do more short form content in the way of games and news bits, you name it. However, this is a little bit longer form of that. We're going to do Guess the Game. I'm going to let John introduce it. If you haven't seen the last two episodes, it's my turn to guess this week. But John, take it away.
Yeah, it's simple. It's simple. So we've come down to 15 questions is probably the right amount. We tried it with 10, and we're like, wait a minute, this is tough. There's a lot of freaking video games out there. We've done it with 15 for the last 2 weeks, and both Josiah and myself still haven't gotten it. We've gotten close, and we feel like it's still good. So yeah, 15 questions, yes or no only. I've got a video game in mind. I'm going to put it up on screen right now. Y'all can see it if you're watching the YouTube video. It's up there. It's hanging out. So I've got the game in mind. Josiah gets 15 guesses, and I've got the counter up. Joe, whenever you're ready, hit me with the first question.
All right, let's do this. I'm feeling good now. Ask me how I feel in 4 questions. So, was this game initially released in 2010 or after?
In 2010 or after? No.
Whoa! Okay,
Yep.
I changed my approach a little bit.
Uh-oh. Curveball right away. It's the playoffs, baby.
John, I told you I don't keep up with baseball. Okay. Is this game exclusive to either Nintendo, Xbox, or PlayStation?
Yes, it is. It is exclusive to either Nintendo, Xbox, or PlayStation.
Is this game exclusive to Xbox?
No.
Okay. Is this game exclusive to PlayStation?
Yes.
All right. Let's see here.
Got your first yes on the board.
So many people I want to thank. So PlayStation exclusive.
Yep.
Let's see.
Pre-2010, you said? Is that what you guessed? Yeah.
Yep. So it would have released 2009 or earlier.
Right.
Originally. Is this game part of a franchise, or in other words, it has sequels, or is a sequel itself?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. It sure is.
All right. Let's see. Is this a single player game?
Yes, it is.
Oh, look at these yeses.
Let's go. 3 in a row, baby.
Yes to the dress today.
Yes to the dress.
Is this game a platformer?
No.
Oh, okay. Change course.
It is not a platformer. Indeed.
So I could get a little more specific on the console generation.
You're at 7 guesses, by the way.
Okay. Is this... Did this game initially come out on the PlayStation 3 generation or during the PS3 generation?
Yes.
Okay.
It did.
Is this game developed by Naughty Dog?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Is this game Uncharted? The first one?
No, it is not.
Okay. Is this game Uncharted 2?
Yes, it is.
Yeah!
We got it, baby.
There we go.
Uncharted 2. I'm sorry, wait a minute. Uncharted 2 what?
Hang on.
Yeah, I mean...
Drake's Fortune.
Uh-huh. Oh, wait a minute. We might not have a winner here yet.
No, I was going to say it, but I was worried I was going to get the wrong subtitle.
I don't know if you got...
Give me a second.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting. I got all the time in the world. I got plenty of hard drive space to record this podcast. Could go on for hours.
Oh, how do I not know this? Okay.
I mean, you don't know the answer then.
What was the Thieves' End? Going backwards here.
Okay, you got 2 of the 4 down. Wow, this is the one that always sticks out to me. This is the subtitle that like I say when I think of Uncharted. Wow.
What's funny is the one that sticks out to me is A Thieves' End or Golden Abyss.
Golden Abyss is a good one. That's probably the best one.
Give
for
me
sure.
that remake.
Oh,
from the ground up.
Put that on, yeah.
Please. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
I can't think of it.
God.
This is like Felicia Day earlier.
It is.
Yeah, I don't recall.
This is Uncharted 2, Among Thieves. Among Thieves. Yeah, that's the one I think of for whatever reason. I think Uncharted 2 is like, other than 4, because I think 4 is like a step up in a lot of ways. I think 2 is like the definitive Uncharted game for me of that first trilogy. So I always think of Uncharted 2, Among Thieves. But yeah, great job, man. You got it, I think, in 11 questions, maybe 12. I might have forgotten to tap once, but yeah, 11 or 12. Good job. First successful guess the game here on Busy Sticks, man. That's
sweet, dude. I'm
excellent.
feeling good.
Good, you should.
That's not bad.
No, not bad at all.
Writing down some of the questions that I was going to have to kind of figure out a path helped a lot.
Makes sense.
Having gone through it with the 2 weeks that we played prior was also nice. So Sweet, sweet.
Good job,
And that
man.
was not like terribly long. Like that could almost be a YouTube short.
Yeah, oh for sure. Yeah. And I even think I can cut some of those other ones together to make some fun short stuff out of it. That's the plan in the future.
I like that. I like that a lot. All right. So I'll come up with a game for next week. We'll have John take his turn at that.
Yeah.
Dude, what a way to end this episode of Busy Sticks here. Fun. John and I love talking video games, and this is the way to do it. John, we've got some good stuff going on at the Geekiverse. If people like Star Wars, what can they check out? And then also, if people want to help us out on Twitch, what's a way that they can do that?
Oh, I've got answers for you, my friend. So if you like Star Wars, wow, what's happening in Star Wars? Star Wars Andor is live right now, and we're through 6 episodes, and we've got the show for you. It's called Built on Hope. It is our weekly Star Wars Andor reaction show. We're talking all things Andor. We just recorded it. We had a blast. We actually had to talk episodes 5 and 6 because we missed a week, but that's because Josiah's a slacker. Won't happen again, he promises. But yeah, if you're on Twitch and you want to support us, Twitch Prime, baby. Hit us up with a subscription. If you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, which means you have 1 free subscription. Use it on us. Don't just let it sit there. Don't give it to Jeff Bezos. Don't let him keep that money. Take it back. Take it back. Give it to us. It's free. Click the button, subscribe, use Prime. We'd love it. Goes a long way.
It truly, truly does. We appreciate your support there. It's been great being back in the swing of things here. You can watch all of our live streams at youtube.com/thegeekiverse and twitch.tv/thegeekiverse. Tim Talbot is also going to start streaming mornings, various video games on our channel. Can't wait to see what he's got cooking for that. We've got some fun fall games ahead here in the form of Gotham Knights. We've got Modern Warfare 2. We've got God of War Ragnarok. Good stuff ahead. Sonic Frontiers. I'm sure Tim's going to be into that.
I'm excited for that one, dude.
It's that's one that I keep forgetting about. And then I see an ad for it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I forget about this?
It's a busy fall.
Busy fall, a good one for sure. Thanks for tuning in here. And then again, if you missed the live show, you can always watch it back on YouTube or download the podcast or stream it wherever you listen to podcast services around the globe. I'm Josiah Leroy for John Fick. Thanks again for tuning in to this episode of Busy Sticks. Episode 26, by the way, John. The Rasmus Dahlin / Thomas Vanek.
Matt Molson. Got to mention Matt Molson.
Got to do it. Go Buffalo Sabres. Hope it's an awesome season and that we care well into March. That would be really awesome. That's my wish for this season. Yeah. So for John, I'm Josiah. We'll catch you all soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week.